She only wanted a normal flight home. But when a storm forced their plane to land in a strange city, she found herself trapped with the billionaire everyone feared. One night, one secret, one stranger who felt like danger and destiny at the same time. She walked away believing it was nothing. A year later, he walked back into her life. As her boss, as the most powerful man in the building, and as the one mistake she can never escape. This is where love becomes a battlefield. And she isn't sure whether he's the hero of her story or the villain who will ruin her life forever. She never expected first class. It felt like stepping into someone else's life. Crystal glasses, whispered service, lights soft enough to erase flaws. Emily Foster tried to sit with dignity, like she belonged among the wealthy. But when he arrived, every inch of the cabin changed. Tall, confident, navy suit that obeyed him perfectly, hair dark as midnight, eyes sharper than turbulence. He didn't ask for space, the world simply made room. Long flight, he said low, smooth. Depends who you're sitting next to, she shot back. His almost smile was more dangerous than a touch. They floated in silence, engines humming like fate clearing its throat. He typed with decisive hands. She watched the clouds pretend to be innocent. Everything ordinary felt charged. Then the weather turned. The plane jolted, the sky frowned, and New York whispered, "Not tonight." Boston kidnapped them with a snowstorm, forcing a stopover in a hotel that smelled like apologies. Doors slid open in the elevator. He was there composed, unbothered. Like emergencies were just minor revisions to his plans. "Thank you," she murmured, "for stopping the doors." "Wasn't for you," he said. "I don't like sharing elevators with corpses." Arrogant, infuriating, magnetic. Their rooms were 3 doors apart, too close for coincidence, too far for comfort. Sleep should have come. Instead, her mind replayed the way he made silence feel intimate. Then the fire alarm screamed. Chaos spilled into the hall. She emerged frazzled. He emerged ready for court, fully dressed, perfectly calm. "You okay?" he asked. "I'm good at pretending, I can tell." The evacuation ended in a lobby full of exhausted strangers. He offered coffee. She said yes before thinking. Under fluorescent lights at 3 a.m., his intensity softened. His voice uncoiled secrets without revealing anything. They laughed like they knew each other from some forgotten life. "What do you do?" he asked. "I tell stories," she said. "Journalist." "Dangerous, and you business? That's not a job, that's a genre." "Then I'm the sequel," he said. The laugh he stole from her stayed in the air long after they walked back. At her door, destiny hovered. "This is where we pretend we never see each other again," she whispered. "We can pretend," he said, "or lie with nicer words. Like goodnight." The door closed softly. Ending, disguised as a pause, but morning wasn't done with them. Back on the plane, fate reseated them together. They exchanged names like promises they didn't intend to keep. He slept. She memorized the lines of his jaw like a confession. Then New York swallowed them whole. Door closes, story archived. For 1 year, she kept him as a memory with sharp edges. Then came the email, "Congratulations, welcome to Miles Media." Her dream job was finally real. New suit, new desk, new purpose. She straightened her one good blouse and told herself, "Today, you grow up." But myths sometimes wear nameplates. He walked in. The stranger from the sky was her CEO, her boss. Her mistake returning in a tailored suit. His presence consumed oxygen. People leaned forward without knowing they did. When the introduction reached her name, his gaze found hers. Recognition sparking quietly, dangerously. "Welcome to Miles Media," he said, eyes holding more truth than his voice. "We build stories that matter." Her pulse misbehaved. During the break, the room emptied everyone except the two who had unfinished business with fate. "Small world," she said, trying to be casual with a heart that wouldn't listen. "Worlds shrink when they want to," he replied. "Or when something's unresolved." She breathed wrong. He noticed. He approached later authority wrapped in silk and steel. "I'll expect your first pitch tomorrow morning," he said. "Yes, sir." His eyebrow flicked. "Don't call me sir. Makes me feel old." "What should I call you? That depends." "On what? How brave you are." She stared. He left. The air stayed heated. She sat at her new desk, screen glowing blank. The cursor blinked like a dare, write the story. But the story was already writing her. Outside, the city gleamed sharp, relentless, alive. Inside, she battled a truth she couldn't file away. The man she tried to forget was now the man she couldn't avoid. The stopover was never an accident. It was a beginning disguised as a detour, and neither of them was ready for where this story wanted to go. He didn't look at her like a boss looks at a new employee. He looked at her like a man who remembered every second of a night neither of them planned. Emily tried to bury the memory in professionalism, but his presence turned the entire office into a crime scene. Desire being the weapon, eye contact the fingerprints. She caught him watching her once across the newsroom glass. Green eyes, unapologetic, like he already owned the conclusion of whatever this was. She pretended to type. He pretended to believe her. At lunch, her friend Kristen whispered, "That's Jameson Miles. Brilliant, brutal, untouchable." Emily said nothing, but her pulse confessed everything. When the elevator doors slid open later that day, he was inside again. Fate was enjoying itself, Flory asked. "Wherever ambition goes," she said. "Ambition goes up," he replied, selecting the top button. The pause stretched, the air thickened. "You seem on edge," he said. "It's my first day, not why," he corrected. Her breath caught. He noticed. Of course he did. "Let's make something clear," he murmured, stepping just close enough for her resolve to panic. "Whatever happened that night stays there?" "Agreed," she said quickly, too quickly. "But," he continued, "do not confuse boundaries with absence of interest." It wasn't a confession, it was a warning. The doors dinged open before she could respond. He walked away with that calm stride that made the ground feel owned. She exhaled a full paragraph of emotions, all spelled wrong. Days turned into a game and she was losing. He would appear in her peripheral vision just long enough to disrupt her work. He would stand too close during briefings, scent like cedar and contradictions. He would speak her name like a signature only he was authorized to use. The worst part, her body listened more than her brain. One late evening, she stayed to finish a pitch. The office was a cathedral of neon and silence. He stood in the doorway, tie loosened, judgment sharp. "You're still here," he said. "So are you. Difference is, I own the place, and I'm trying not to get fired from it." He leaned against the glass, studying her draft. "You write like you don't trust anyone," he observed. "Self-preservation," she replied. That made something flicker behind his restraint. A history, a bruise. He stepped toward her desk, a slow, deliberate movement, hunting, not chasing. "I admire that," he said, "but trust is useful when given to the right person." "And you believe you're that person?" she challenged. "No," he said. "I believe you want me to be." Her heartbeat betrayed her loud, stupid, alive. He glanced at her lips quickly, but enough. "If you stay late alone again," he said, voice low. "Tell security, there are dangers in this world. You one of them," she whispered. His answer was a smile, dark, knowing, devastating. "I am the definition." Then he left, door clicking like a pulse closing. She dropped her pen. Her composure dropped harder. The gala came 3 weeks later. The kind of event where diamonds gossip and champagne lies. Emily wasn't invited. Kristen snuck her in with confidence and borrowed lipstick. She thought she'd be invisible. She was wrong. He saw her the moment she stepped into the ballroom. The music bowed. His restraint wavered. She wore a black dress that could get a heart arrested. Hair curled like a sin committed on purpose, eyes brighter than chandeliers. He didn't approach. Predators don't rush, but jealousy that has no manners. When another man asked for her name, Jameson arrived with lethal timing. "She's with me," he said, hand finding her lower back firm, possessive. Emily tried to ignore the electricity spreading from his touch. "I'm not," she began. "You are," he interrupted, leaning close enough to rewrite consent into chemistry. "You just don't know it yet." He guided her to the balcony away from eyes, toward danger. City lights flickered against his jaw. Wind teased her hair into temptation. "You don't get to claim me," she said. "I'm not claiming," he replied. "I'm stating facts before someone else mistakes you for free." She bristled. She also shivered. "This is inappropriate. You're my boss. At work," he corrected. "Not here." "Boundaries," she insisted. "Broken," he countered. Then silence, the kind that tastes like the second before a kiss. His hand brushed her cheek. Slow. Testing. She didn't move. He noticed again. "This feels inevitable," he admitted. "That's what makes it dangerous," she breathed. He smiled, hungry. "Then let's be careful with the truth." She looked at the skyline easier than looking at him. "What truth?" "I haven't stopped thinking about Boston," he said. Her pulse tripped over desire. He stepped back, not because he wanted distance, but because he needed control. Control he was losing. "Remember our rule," he said. Voice clipped. "What happened that night stays there." She nodded. "But rules," he continued, "were made to be tested." With that, he walked away, abandoning her to a night that suddenly felt too hot and too cold at the same time. Emily understood then this man wasn't a chapter. He was a plot twist. And if she kept standing near the fire, she would burn. Boundaries didn't just blur, they shattered. He wanted control, she wanted clarity. Neither got what they asked for. Every day at Miles Media became a tug of war no one could win. He would assign her stories just to keep her close, then push her away the moment she stepped close enough to be dangerous. She should hate him. Sometimes she tried, but hate requires distance. He never gave her any. One night, Emily worked late again, the newsroom empty except for the hum of screens and ambition. She heard the elevator before she saw him. The air tightened. Her heartbeat knew before her eyes did. Jameson walked toward her like a question with no right answer. "You're here after hours again," he said. "This is becoming a habit. So fire me," she snapped, tired of being strong only in silence. "I have better uses for your talent." The way he said it low. Rough wasn't professional, not even close. He took her wrist gently, but with intention. "Come with me." She followed not because she was weak, but because resisting him felt like a lie. He led her into a private elevator, pressing a key card. They descended somewhere the building didn't advertise. The doors opened to a hidden bar, low lights, velvet seats, jazz hanging in the air like secrets. "You bring a lot of employees here," she asked. "Only the ones who tempt me," he replied. Her pulse betrayed her again. He poured whiskey. She didn't drink whiskey. She drank it anyway. "You confuse me," she admitted quietly. "That's mutual," he said. She laughed in disbelief. "You confused." He met her eyes, walls lowering for just a second. "You changed the ending to a story I thought I had already written." Her breath caught. She hadn't expected honesty, especially not from him. "Why me?" she whispered. "Because you don't need me," he said. "And that terrifies me." Before she could respond, his phone buzzed, reality clawing back control. He cursed under his breath, a rare crack in perfection. "Rain check," he asked. "On what?" she challenged. "On losing control," he said and left. She stared at the empty doorway, torn between anger and longing. The next morning, everything changed. A woman walked into the building, tall, polished, expensive. She kissed Jameson on the cheek like she owned him. Everyone in the office pretended not to watch. "Who's that?" Emily asked Kristen. "His complication," Kristen whispered. "On again, off again, socialite, exactly his type." Emily's chest tightened. Exactly his type. Not her then. Jameson avoided her that day. Emails instead of glances. Distance disguised as professionalism. It hurt more than she expected. When she finally confronted him, the office hallway was too quiet. "You disappeared," she said. "I was busy." "You've never been too busy to interfere before." His jaw clenched. Possession flared behind his eyes. "You think I don't care," he said, stepping close. "I care too much. That's the problem." And she, Emily, demanded. His silence was an answer. "I won't be a secret you get to hide when it's convenient," she said, voice steady, heart breaking. "You were never a secret," he murmured. "You were a risk." "Then stop treating me like a mistake." He didn't pull her closer. He didn't push her away. He just stood there, trapped between want and fear. "Give me time," he said. "Time doesn't fix broken intentions," she replied. Then she walked away, not dramatically, not in anger, just a quiet exit from a battlefield that had stopped being romantic. That night she cried one tear, then another, because emotions have terrible timing. Her phone buzzed. "No caller ID." She hesitated, answered, "Come outside." His voice said undone, raw. She looked down from her window. He stood next to a black car, looking up like gravity was suddenly personal. Against better judgment, better advice, better sense she went. The city blurred from the backseat lights, streaking like spilled gold. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. They arrived at his penthouse, glass walls, skyline like a crown. Inside, the silence pressed against them. He turned to her. "I'm not good at this," he said. And what she whispered, "Wanting someone more than I want control?" Her heart fractured in the most beautiful way. He lifted her chin gently, not claiming, but asking, "If I cross this line, There's no going back. Her voice trembled. Then don't cross it alone. His restraint snapped. He kissed her slow at first, learning her, memorizing her, then deeper, urgent, like a man falling without a parachute. She held his shirt, anchoring him. He held her waist, grounding himself. No music, no witnesses, just two people trying to rewrite their damage into something worth surviving. But passion always invites danger. Just as his hand slid to her hips, his phone lit up again, her name the socialite glowing like a curse. Reality barged in. He broke the kiss, breathing hard. Emily, he said, torn open. She stepped back, tears unspilled but burning. You're still undecided, she whispered. He tried to deny it. Failed. I can't lose myself. She said, You won't? Then don't make me prove it, she cut in. She walked to the elevator, heart aching, pride intact. Emily, he called, voice cracked. The doors closed. He stood alone in a palace built on walls too thick for love to breathe. She cried quietly in the cab, not because she was weak, but because she'd been brave. The war had begun, not against each other, but against the parts of themselves that didn't believe they deserved the very thing they were terrified of losing. Silence makes a terrible shield. Emily tried to bury herself in work deadlines, notes, noise, but no matter how fast her fingers typed, her heart never lagged far behind. Every corner of the building whispered his name. Every floor-to-ceiling glass reflected the memory of his hands on her skin. She didn't avoid him. She avoided the truth. That was harder. Jameson didn't handle distance well, especially when he caused it. He watched her across rooms, pretending to approve budgets, when he was really studying her breathing. He heard her laugh once, not because of him, and jealousy wrapped a fist around his ribs. His power couldn't fix this, and that terrified him. He walked into her office one afternoon without knocking, because boundaries were artificial constructions for people who felt less. We need to talk, he said. She kept typing, professionalism doubling his armor. There's nothing left to talk about. There's everything to talk about. Then talk, she fired back. Explain why I'm someone you want in the dark, but forget in the light. He flinched a tiny break in the mask. It's not forgetting, he said quietly. It's fear. Must be nice, Emily whispered, finally looking up. To be powerful everywhere except with me. That landed deep a hit to the one place he wasn't bulletproof. But before he could reply, the newsroom erupted. Breaking news. A scandal. Miles Media under attack. Screens flashed headlines. Fraud allegations in Miles' empire. Deal. Photos of Jameson with men who smiled like sharks. The room turned into panic and gossip. Emily's stomach dropped. Jameson became ice calm, lethal. Meeting room. Now. He ordered his executives. As he left, he looked back at her 1 second. One plea. Don't believe what they say. She wasn't sure she could promise that anymore. That night, Emily stayed late again, a habit carved by ambition and heartbreak. She was printing documents when voices from the executive hallway stopped her cold. She's a liability. A woman said, the same socialite from the gala, voice like crystal knives. You're slipping because of her. Jameson's reply was low. Angry Emily is none of your concern. Oh, then why are you willing to risk everything for her? Emily froze, breath suspended in time. Risk everything, the woman continued. You want her, fine, but she doesn't belong in your world. End this before she ruins you. End this. The words stabbed without aim but hit exactly where they hurt. Emily stepped back fast, too fast, papers fluttering to the carpet like fallen truths. She left before he could see her, before he could turn that conversation into another lie, wrapped in good intentions. She didn't show up the next day, or the next. Her phone buzzed constantly. 35 missed calls, 18 messages, one from him. Tell me you're safe. Tell me how to fix this. There was no fix, not that she could see. She needed distance, a word he'd never learned. Her mother welcomed her home with questions Emily dodged like raindrops. She curled into old blankets, tried to sleep under the comfort of childhood. But heartbreak owned the night. The doorbell rang. Her pulse panicked. She already knew. He stood on her porch, suit imperfect, eyes roughened by days without surrender. Emily, he said, voice raw. She stayed in the doorway, small distance, big decision. What do you want, he answered. And the truth you deserve. You think showing up fixes betrayal? His eyes darkened not with anger. but with injury. What betrayal, he demanded. Loving you. You made me a secret. You made yourself one, he countered. I never asked you to hide. You never asked me anything, she cried. You decide. You control. You pull me in, then let her pull you away. He stepped forward, shaking his head. She means nothing, but she gets to stay, Emily whispered. And I get to run. That broke him. He reached for her hand. She pulled away. Pain flashed across his face, clean and devastating. I will end that chapter, he vowed. I will end anyone who thinks they own me. And what about me? Her voice cracked. Do I get to own anything, even myself? He didn't answer. Silence did loud and unforgiving. She closed the door before he could speak remorse into existence. On the other side of the wood, he waited a king outside his own kingdom until hope froze, and pride carried him back to his black car. Nights without him were too quiet, but nights with regret always are. Emily returned to work after days of avoidance, not stronger, just tired of running. Jameson was in the conference room, surrounded by lawyers in crisis. He looked up the moment she entered, relief and pain colliding in his eyes. But this was the wrong moment, and the wrong battlefield. A new headline hit the screen. Insider source reveals scandal reporter involved. Photos, her face, his arm around her at the gala terrace. Her blood went cold. Heads turned, accusations loaded. Jameson rose volcano in a suit. This ends now. No, she said, voice trembling but alive. This ends me. He tried to come closer. She stepped back for the last time. You can save your empire, she whispered, or you can save me. You don't get both. Then she walked out, past cameras, past judgment, past the man who ruined her life simply by wanting her. He didn't chase her. Maybe he finally understood love isn't possession, it's sacrifice. So she left the building, the job, the world they almost built. No elevator rides, no accidental meetings, no more nearly, just emptiness where ambition and desire used to wrestle. He watched her go powerless for the first time in his life. His kingdom stood tall, his heart didn't. New York didn't slow down for heartbreak. It only made the lights brighter, so pain had nowhere left to hide. Emily tried to delete him from her story, but memory is stubborn, especially the memories that feel like destiny. She found a small apartment far from skyscrapers. She took freelance jobs, writing other people's truths because her own hurt too much. Her reflection looked older. Her heart felt younger, bruised, reckless, still learning. But silence doesn't heal. It only delays the hurt. Jameson didn't sleep after she left. He buried himself in crisis reports, lawsuits, headlines sharpened to kill. He won the war outside, cleared his name, rebuilt the company, crushed the ones who tried to break him. But victory tasted like regret. He stood in his penthouse each night, staring at the empty space where she once stood. Hair blown by balcony wind, mouth almost confessing love. Power used to feel like protection. Now it felt like a cell. His brother tried to talk sense into him. Let her go, he said. You can't control someone into loving you. Jameson didn't want control anymore. He wanted forgiveness, and forgiveness is harder than power. He searched for her quietly, not men in suits, not threats. Just one man with a wound he couldn't hide anymore. He found her one rainy evening. Not glamorous, not guarded, just real. She sat in a corner cafe, typing hope into a laptop, her hair in a messy bun, cheeks flushed from winter wind. More beautiful than any gala night because she didn't belong to his world in this moment. She belonged to herself. He stepped inside. Her breath stopped. His entire life paused. You look... He swallowed the million adjectives, clawing for release. You look well. She shut the laptop slowly. You found me. I never stopped, he said. The rain outside wrote poetry down the windows. Inside, everything heavy finally floated to the surface. I fixed the company, he said, voice tight, and destroyed the woman I should have protected. She looked away. Don't rewrite history. I walked away, because I kept the door locked. He replied, You were brave enough to leave. I wasn't brave enough to follow. Her eyes glimmered. Not softness, recognition. I thought loving you meant losing myself, she whispered. And I thought loving you meant losing control. He confessed, but control without you is just loneliness dressed in success. He stepped closer, but not enough to trap her. A silence asked a question. She didn't answer, so he continued. I ended it, he said. The other woman. complication. The shadow. Love shouldn't be a competition. Her heartbeat stuttered. Her mind didn't trust him. Her soul wanted to. "You hurt me," she said. "I know," his voice broke. "Let me spend the rest of my life proving I won't do it again." He reached into his coat pocket, pulled out a simple ring gold, unpolished, real, no diamonds, no branding, no power. "Marry me," he said softly. "No contracts, no hiding, no rules except the ones we write together." Her tears betrayed her composure. "Why now? Because I finally understand," he whispered. "Love doesn't make you weak, it makes you choose." A long pause, the kind that could either build a life or break one forever. She stepped closer, enough to breathe the same truth. Her fingertips brushed his jaw, like forgiveness trying to remember the shape of the man she once wanted more than safety. "You don't get to own me," she said. He nodded. "And you don't get to leave me behind." Her lips curved, not a smile, something deeper. "It won't be easy." He laughed softly, a sound she hadn't heard in too long. What good story ever is? She took the ring, slid it onto her own finger, claiming herself, claiming him, claiming them. No applause, no fireworks, just a quiet miracle of two broken people choosing the same future. The wedding wasn't royal, it wasn't a spectacle, just him, her, and a skyline that finally approved the match. He whispered his vows like confessions. "I don't want to control the world anymore. Just be worthy of the one person who sees me without the crown." She promised hers like rebellion. "I'm not here to be protected. I'm here to be your partner in the fire." That night, in their new home, no suits, no gowns, just skin and trust. The distance they fought so hard finally collapsed. Months later, Emily hung a framed boarding pass on the wall. Seat number, date, the beginning disguised as an accident. He kissed the top of her head. "You kept it." "It kept me," she answered, "reminded me that one wrong turn can lead exactly where you're meant to be." He smiled truly, freely. "I wouldn't mind another delay." She laughed, curling into him. "With you, I'd survive any storm." The city glowed like a blessing, their hands tangled, futures aligned. The stopover was never a mistake. It was destiny waiting for the courage to be claimed. Fade out, love wins, credits roll.